Now we have from DataSeer, please welcome Tim Vines, founder and CEO.
Brilliant. Thanks very much for having me here. This is how scholarly publishing feels for you right now. You're not alone. There's a lot of pressures on us at the moment. So we hear a lot, stop rocking progress. Get out of the way. Researchers are doing great work. They could be saving lives, and we're getting in the way with our slow, pesky peer review process that's really annoying, and we hate it. So just get out of the way and let us save all those children. At the same time, you have to eliminate research and publication fraud and do more checks and make everything, clean the whole research record up, because at the moment it's getting very contaminated and becoming less useful. And together, these two things, I mean, we've been hearing about these for a long time, so that these aren't new pressures. However, the tide is now starting to move, and you may have heard the rumor that many US federal agencies and philanthropic organizations are thinking of cutting support for APCs, much like the Gates Foundation has done. And this could become a severe cash crunch. So we have to do all three of these at the same time. So do the first two with less money. So automate is really the only way out of this. In fact, this slide should really say automate or die. So in particular, what I want to talk about is how AI can help with fiddly editorial office work. And this is a really big time suck, a money suck in the scholarly process, because you have to do it for every submission that arrives at the journal. It's not just for every paper you're going to publish. Every submission has to go through the editorial office checklist. And these checks are getting more and more extensive, more intensive, or they should be. Maybe you set up to do them more intensively, but your editorial office staff can't keep up. They don't have time. They end up not doing them as well as they can. So what we need to do is expand and solidify these integrity checks, and at the same time reduce the cost of doing these checks. And AI is going to help with this. LLMs have got to the point where they can now provide thoughtful feedback on policy compliance. Not yes, no, but hey, I think you should do this. I looked at this document. It doesn't meet our standards, so these are the actions that are required. We can take this technology all the way into complex open data checks. This is one of the hardest parts of the editorial office checklist, and we have managed to automate most aspects of it. We can also actually expand this to a whole suite of editorial office checks. Our LLM is very powerful. It's very good at spotting the issues that need to be dealt with. And we can also draft emails. And this allows editorial offices to be able to complete the checklist in just a few seconds. So, for example, you can see the green box there says, action summary. It's all good. This one can just carry on. The data are on an acceptable repository. No further action is required. And this is what our user interface will look like. We can also chat to update the rules on the fly. And this is a minor feature, but is also incredibly important, because one of the problems that previous AI solutions have had is that as you're working away in the editorial office, you arrive at situations that you could not have anticipated when you were trying to describe the rules that the AI should follow. And typically, you would have to go back to the company that made the AI and say, oh, you need to change this, you need to retrain it. We don't need to do that anymore. We can just talk to the LLM. So here is an example, just for a moment, of a manuscript that does need action. They haven't put the data in the right place. Here's a different one where the data are on a repository, but they haven't provided a URL. But if you look quickly at the data accessibility statement, you can see that they've actually given all the information necessary. And so now we've opened up this chat with the LLM to say, hey, could you change the rules? Because we don't actually need a URL if they're on data sets are on a repository that requires an accession number. And then you can use that to update the rules on the fly. So you can converse with the LLM and allow the editorial office to deal with all these problems that happen, all these exceptions that they want to account for. And it becomes a local well-rounded member of the office team because it knows all about your little individual idiosyncrasies at the journal. Okay, and I'm going to stop there. Thank you very much.
The winner of the Innovation Award for 2025 is DataSeer. Please come on up.
Congratulations to DataSeer.
There you go.
Thank you again to all of our presenters.
Can you please come right here so we can, we'll stand
Sure. Oh, on your side.
in each side. The honorary picture. Smile.
Thank you.
All right, thank you very
Thank you
much.
so much, everyone.
Congratulations.